Hey friend, welcome to Translating the Label podcast for hairstylists, where we dive into the complexities of cosmetic chemistry, brand management, cosmetic regulations, and so much more. We break down the information into practical, relatable advice that empowers you to make more informed choices and also sets you apart as a stylist with a deeper understanding of hair care beyond brand hype and brand narratives. Our goal is to give you insider perspectives that hairstylists rarely receive. You're not here to hear what you want to hear. You're here to cut through the noise and enhance your expertise. So I'm Anna, a hairstylist with an intense curiosity around cosmetic chemistry, and I love to share what I know with you. However, I do want to take a second to highlight that the true experts when it comes to this stuff are the cosmetic chemists. I simply know an insane amount for a hairstylist, and again, I just love to share that. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about story ingredients. Now, story ingredients are also called marketing ingredients, key ingredients, or celebrity ingredients. Do you have a few ingredients, story ingredients coming to mind? I'm sure you do. Now, the harsh truth about story ingredients is that sometimes they're beneficial to the hair, and sometimes they're not beneficial to the hair. Sometimes ingredients are put in simply for the story aspect and to enhance the brand story or the product story. Now, benefits for the hair really depend upon the raw materials selected, of course, and it also depends upon supporting ingredients and how the overall formulation comes together. Like, does it enhance those benefits to really get it working well on the hair and be very beneficial? Now, unfortunately, this is another harsh truth, guys. Sorry, this is turning into a harsh episode, but there is no way for stylists or consumers to verify what benefits these story ingredients provide or don't provide. But there is a little bit of hope here. Don't worry. We can go off of cues and clues. So some cues that you can get from the brand would be like their marketing material. Visit the brand's marketing material. How much are they saying about their story ingredient? Like, are they saying simply something like they include it? Or are they really like deep diving and giving you a ton of detail about these story ingredients? That's a really good indication that there may be some benefits to the hair from those ingredients. Now, some other clues you can look for would be like, is the key ingredient listed as an extract or a botanical? Because that usually means it's a very watered down version of the ingredient and is most likely not benefiting the hair, just in there for the story. Okay. Another thing that you could look for is how long has this story ingredient been used in hair care just in general. Now, you don't necessarily need to go and do like research on that. You kind of know, right? Like, if the ingredient that is being showcased has been around for a long time, like, is it like, we'll say more of a traditional ingredient, or have you seen it showcased in other brands throughout your career? That could be an indication that that ingredient is beneficial to the hair. Not necessarily, but it could be. Another really big thing is, how hot is this specific ingredient right now and where? Like, is it hot when it comes, like, is it like the new up-and-coming ingredient? Are we seeing a lot in food? Are we seeing a lot in skincare and seeing a lot in hair care as well as like in other industries? That could be an indication that it's just being used for the story. Okay, now I know like one thing that I thought was an indication and later learned it's not always a good indication is the quantity. So have you ever picked up a hair care product, flipped it over, and looked for where that ingredient was located in the ingredient list? All right, so quantity, I mean, sometimes it's an indication, but again, sometimes it isn't, and I'm sorry to tell you that. However, it doesn't change the fact. So quantity can vary. Of course, it depends on the ingredient itself, but some ingredients are, of course, are beneficial in high quantities, while others can be beneficial in small quantities. And then there's others that are beneficial only if they have the right supporting ingredients. So it can get pretty complex, which is why there's no way for us to verify that. We will dive into ingredients lists in another episode, because that's a big topic that deserves its own episode. But unfortunately, ingredient lists don't always tell us as much as we would like to think that they're telling us. So just keep that in mind. Now, sorry, I'm looking back at my notes. Oh, okay, so ingredients that we often notice working in the products actually aren't usually the story ingredients, you guys. Usually the ingredients that we really notice working in the products are the ingredients that are boring and not exciting to talk about. So examples of this will be things like fatty alcohols, like citral alcohol, that's fatty alcohol, stuff like that, like the fatty alcohols and whatnot. Those are conditioning ingredients, and we always notice the conditioning benefits, right? However, like every brand is using some form of that, so it's not a point of difference. It's definitely not exciting to talk about. I mean, how would you advertise that? Like, this conditions your grandma's hair, it's going to condition your hair too. Nope, that's not exciting. That's definitely not going to help your marketing campaign. But anyways, other ingredients that we notice working are sometimes they're taboo. Like silicones right now are kind of taboo to talk about. A lot of brands definitely are advertising them. If anything, they're advertising that they don't use silicones. However, anytime consumers are polled on what conditioning benefits they love to like notice in their hair, they pretty much always say things that point directly back to silicones, which is pretty funny. Silicones is something we could definitely do an episode on as well, because that's really fun to talk about. But we're not going to squirrel off to silicones right now. But the whole reason that I wanted to bring this up and share it with you was to give you a little bit more of a comprehensive understanding of the difference between what ingredients are really driving the product's performance versus what ingredients are more in there for the story aspect. So, and another big takeaway that I would like to give you with this is really the magic of a hair care formula really depends on not specific ingredients that are included, although those are important and can contribute, but really it depends on the overall formulation, how the ingredients come together with each other on a whole to provide that perfect performance and experience and all of that good stuff. So the magic is in the formulation and with the formulator. Oh, okay. A good way to put this is much like if you'd have a cook and a chef, right? If we send the cook and the chef to like Aldi or Walmart or whatever, and we say, hey, here's a list of ingredients, and you give them the exact same ingredients, right? The cook is going to come back and they're going to make you a meal that's good, it's edible, it'll get the job done, right? Like you won't hate eating it, it'll fill your belly, But the chef is going to come back, the same ingredients, and they're going to understand how all the different flavor profiles, the texture profiles, just all of that magic, and they're going to create a meal for you that will blow your mind, right? So the same thing is true for hair care formulations and cosmetic chemistry. The magic is really with the overall formulation and the formulator and how well they know how to like get everything to work together. Now, it's important as stylists, of course, to have this understanding, but also like some hairstylists, and maybe this is you, maybe it isn't, but they will look for a product line specifically because they want very specific like story ingredients, and I just want to give you, if that's you, the freedom to let that go, because it's not as crucial for the formula that certain things are included. And I hope that that can help you align with a brand that really meets your salon values. Okay, so another thing I wanted to bring up is I also don't want you to feel like you should avoid or think of story ingredients as a bad thing, because they're a really good thing. Now, story ingredients are primarily a tool for driving sales. However, if this tool helps you to drive your retail and your sales and grow your profits, use it. There is absolutely no shame in that. Use whatever tools you need to, again, grow your profits and build your business and achieve your goals. Again, don't shy away from it. There's absolutely no shame. That they are in there for that reason. Take advantage of it. But when your clients come in and ask you complex, ingredient questions, being able to understand what's in there, like what's driving the performance of a product and what's just driving the story and the marketing, can really help you to answer their questions and and help guide them through any challenges or whatnot they're trying to work through. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you had a lot of good takeaways from this episode. Of course, feel free to reach out anytime with any questions, because I would love to answer them. I could talk about this stuff all day long, or you could tell me what you want to know next. And I will see you on the next episode. Thank you so much for being here.